To every man, woman and child that still believes that this island is worth the fight. It's called Was It For This? Was it for this the pagans strove with woven baskets born of love to worship at the altar of the harvest god Crom Dubh? As the sun rose up the reek and then set down the other side to summon pilgrims to its peak to come from far and wide. Before the Christians came to Ireland and proceeded to rename it, Croagh Patrick as it stands today, well proudly they proclaim it as a place of modern pilgrimage and not the site of ancient heritage that history forgot. Was it for this? The Druids stood before the old gods of the trees and founded schools within their groves to learn the mysteries that lay buried in the branches and encoded in the leaves as the language of the earth written there for all to see. Was this why they came between the people and the great divine and shed the blood of mortal flesh to prophesy through time? Was this the future they once saw? Was it this they had in mind when they foretold in days of old what's born can never die? Was it for the only empire in Rome that still exists to confiscate our island, though some would still insist that we were never conquered? That somehow we escaped in spite of all the plundered land and the children that were raped? Was it the rules they teach in schools they claim were set in stone that have rendered us like lambs to collapse if left alone, that now bring us back in droves to a church that we've outgrown but are scared to leave or to believe we're better on our own? Was it for the famine, for the Irish Holocaust that was rarely thus examined but in truth the human cost was inflicted on this island by the British, and yet peace is supposed to be some pure and noble diplomatic feat? But Mandela fought for what is right and was called a terrorist by the same people who in death have claimed his right to coexist, was never left in any doubt nor disputed in the slightest, cause the darkest stars that ever were in death will shine the brightest. Was it for Biffo, citing Lisbon as the only show in town, inviting Europeans to kick us while we're down, inciting fear amongst the people in need of some relief from the systematic slaughter of a nation's self-belief? Was it for drum and bow in Anglo, picking fingers from their arse, singing Nazi anthems to elucidate the farce of both the major parties, Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil, for pretending key decisions are still made within the Dáil? Was it for this? Some keepers of the peace have forgotten the translation of An Garda Síochána, or was it infiltration that has set the force upon the course of corporate racketeering at the expense of innocence for private profiteering? Well, the greatest crime there's ever been on this island is ongoing, as the IMF still strip us clean and bare despite our knowing. Yet their crimes are somehow normalised and accepted as deserved by the dogs within our government and the masters that they serve. Was it for the US flights of extraordinary rendition, stopping off at Shannon on the way to their perdition, as if it's nothing more than a casual decision to be complicit in the torturing of innocent civilians? But instead of pushing peace, we imprison the protesters and determine their release at the whim of the investors who have bought and sold this island for the promises of oil in pipes they plan on laying on what once was farming soil. But the cows are gone, and the people are gone, and the farms, they're left to fail. Now they probe the seas for oil and gas, the lakes and land for shale. Well, the sycophants and the psychopaths clap backs within the pale with an onus on the bonus for the speedy fire sale of our water and electric that could both be ours for free with a slight recalculation of our own priorities. If instead of paying billions for a debt we never owed, we invested in renewables and let the future flow. Was it for the lattes with ciabattas and goat's cheese? For the double mocha frappes, sculpted quiffs and skinny jeans? For the oh my gods, the fuck my life, you don't understand, the like you knows, the BFFs, the let's make dinner plans. Was it really for the hipsters, or are they just a glitch in the evolutionary motherboard, a momentary twitch that normally exists in every generation but is normally ignored by righteous indignation? Was it for this? The proclamation was read out upon these steps. For that spire defamation that Bella and Bertie left. To cast shadows over bullet holes in pillars that remain, standing by the GPO where the volunteers were slain. For this, the Fina marched across the mountains and the bogs. For this we killed each other for the right to label gods. For this we raise our children just to watch them up and leave as another generation educated and deceived. Or was it for the moment where you finally realise that all that really matters is what's right before your eyes? The simple understanding that come whatever else, you'll never know another as you learn to know yourself. And even though we come to love with everything we are, the truth is, every one of us has once been battle scarred. And the purest love that still remains is written in that kiss before we fall asleep at night that says, it was for this. Cheers, folks.